Let's just jump in the fucking water and fucking learn to swim. I truly believe so many people get caught up in just waiting for perfection. I think that the gyms fucking just jump in. You actually fucking learn a lot through the process. The last couple of years, I put myself through enormous physical, mental, spiritual stress to really kind of cap myself off. Where's my fucking line? We did half marathons last year, and one guy goes, let's do one. Fuck that, let's do 5. Now, I'm 130 kgs with 2 fucked up knees. If you see it on LinkedIn, I just had knee surgery. I delayed my knee surgery just to do these half marathons. Whenever we're looking at creating something, let's not chase for the money, let's chase it for a compelling purpose of what we're trying to achieve. Because when you're truly fucking obsessed believing in this shit, mate, everything else takes care of itself. I'm a 6 foot, 130 kg guy. I'm not really scared of a lot of things, but I'm scared of my aunties and uncles. Like, if they call my name and they say it in a certain way, I flinch. I fucking flinch.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Nesian News. Our mission is to connect and inspire our Islander community by sharing Islander success stories with everyone. So stay tuned for the full episode. It's been a while since we had our last interview, but today we got TJ on the show, and he's a super cool guy I connected with ages ago. He's been doing all these cool things that he's been up to, and so can't wait to get diving into it, TJ. Thanks for hopping on.
Nah, cheers, bro. Hey, mate, it's my fault. We've been doing a few things, but you know, I like watching the stuff that you do on all the platforms. So, man, happy to contribute and get involved.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, what were some of those things that you were up to?
Yeah, I guess I'm the group CEO of LM4 Group, but so it's a group of businesses. It's in that consultancy space, but we also own a company in Samoa that does a lot of stuff in the economic development. So some cool shit there. And then we've just branched off our business opening up in Melbourne, Australia.
Crazy. How did you even get involved and started with all these different things you got juggling?
I mean, just previous life experience. Like, I've just done some really random shit, and I guess on the back of that is a lot of lessons learned. Like, man, I fucked up a lot. And I guess for me is just that, you know, I believe in lessons learned, and like, you know, I guess a lot of stuff that we do as a family business, it's around, like, you know, purpose driven. Like, a lot of our stuff, our key metric is around servant leadership, and then it's kind of like, okay, does this make sense? Are we solving a problem? You know, and then the rest of it is just basic mechanics. And that's, so yeah, like, that's probably been the background of how we just fucking jump in, Let's just jump in the fucking water and fucking learn to swim. Bro, I think just going slightly off topic, it's just more kind of like, I truly believe, like, so many people get caught up in just waiting for perfection. I think that, like, the gems is fucking just jump in, and like, you actually fucking learn a lot through the process. And I guess it's kind of like a key metric that I always go to guys whenever we're looking at creating something or entering a market. It's kind of like, let's not chase it for the money. Let's chase it for a compelling purpose of what we're trying to achieve. Because when you're truly fucking obsessed of believing in this shit, mate, everything else just takes care of itself. And I'm talking about, like, compelling purpose, fucking infinite. Then obviously, like, the money, the transactions just take care of itself, the revenue.
Interesting. That's so different. I feel like, especially going to school over here, it seems like the only thing anyone ever talks about, especially in the startup space, you got to focus on how this can make money. Has that ever come back to bite you and focusing so much on the mission or the purpose?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there's been a couple of things that's kind of like, you know, we're going too far this way, and that's. But I guess those are the lessons learned. Those are the gems. That's kind of like, you know, okay, cool. What are the metrics that we want to achieve, business-wise? Cool. But like, I guess, you know, the guys that I got involved in our business or that are working with us is that, like, man, you know, it's just having that clear vision of, like, man, what problem are we trying to solve? You know, I think, like, I listened to a podcast, Nick Mowbray, one of the founders of Zuri, a huge company, And like he always talks about like the products they made, and like they always talk about like 80% of the product needs to be something familiar to the market. The other 20% of it has to be in the fucking cutting edge. So it's kind of like people will struggle with change. So they need to know like, okay, this makes sense. I get it. I've used it before. But then the other 20% is kind of like the point of difference of why the fuck use this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. That reminds me of ChatGPT. Like when it first came out, it's like an everyday chatbot. Like everyone's familiar with that. But then the 20% that like took everyone by storm was how it like magically created this, wrote my essay for me.
Oh, bro, like, man, you think about it back in the days, like, you know, when they made the mouse, like, you know, the mouse fucking computer, and like, it was Claude, it was with a Claude. And then everyone, you know, and everyone's like, oh, fuck, yeah, the mouse. But then all of the, I think Apple, what they just made it as wireless. Now, that was cutting edge, because all of a sudden you didn't need to plug that fucker in. It's so basic, it's something that everyone needs. But it's kind of like, you know, it is just kind of being like, you know, just trying to remain relevant and just trying to just think of, okay, what problem are we trying to solve here?
Mm-hmm. What other lesson have you learned? Because you said you had like a lot of failures jumping into everything. Well, what else was like some of the big failures and the lessons that came along with them?
Oh, man, there's a lot. Like, I think it's not to take things too personal. I like the Bruce Lee saying, just flow like water. And like, you know, and what is it? You know, really understand who are the key people around you. And I think a key one that I use that I always talk to a lot of people is that a really good friend of mine from Australia that spoke to me about is about energy points.
Tell me more about that. What are energy points?
So, well, we talk about energy points, bro. Like, so every day I get 100 points. And I've been a family man, a wife with 3 boys. So I know my wife needs 20 points per day. My kids need 3 boys need 20 points. So I've only got 60 points. So this is where you're being relentless with your time and kind of like, you know, so I've got 60 points. So I would say 40 of those points go in my morning of all my shit meetings, all the difficult conversations, courageous conversations. And then obviously the last 20 points I've got is really of like the creative stuff that I start playing with for the next day or working on the business. So then you start being really kind of like conscious of time. And then you start like, well, man, probably gonna get crucified for this. Conscious of the vampires that are eating your energy points. I say it like that because they're the ones that will come to you and they'll go, soli uso, like they'll want you to pump their tires to, you know, validate their idea, but they still go and do the stupid thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've just used that amount of energy points that you could have been using on something that you were doing on them because, like, it's just being aware of, like, you know, just the amount of time you spend with, you know, people. So I guess, yeah, lessons learned is just, you know, managing my energy points and just really just managing, like, the people I hang around with.
Yeah. That energy point, that's such a fascinating idea to me. Because the other energy point, I remember you talking about this, was that you're doing these triathlon, this athletic side and keeping up with your health. Why'd you decide to get into that?
Oh, bro. I believe in putting my body through, well, it's kind of a full process, but the last couple of years, I put myself through enormous physical, mental, spiritual stress to really kind of cap myself of like, where's my fucking line? So like, you know, we did half marathons last year and one guy goes, let's do one. I said, fuck that, let's do 5. Now, I'm 132 kgs with 2 fucked up knees. If you see it on LinkedIn, I just had knee surgery. I delayed my knee surgery just to do these half marathons. So like, you know, us Pacific Islanders, we're not born to fucking run long distance. And so like, and like, I don't know, I think it's just that process of like breaking the half marathons down and then just kind of like, you know, and just going through that process to get me through it. And I think if anything, it probably, the enormous stress of that run is kind of like, why am I stressing about shit I do at work? So like I shared with you the last time we chatted, Dean, like I'm a fourth year first school C student. So I think in New Zealand they call it year 11. I never went to school. I pretty much a classic of gone to school to eat my lunch. Did all right at rugby. I don't think I loved rugby, but it was just a pathway. You know, we come from an unfortunate background where rugby got me to go to places. So made New Zealand schoolboys, got to sign up at Wellington, etc., etc. But I was that classic guy that didn't like training.
Yeah. I'm that guy with cardio.
Oh man, cardio doesn't make sense to me. Cardio, but I shared it, but because it was just more kind of like, you know, since I've been back in New Zealand, along with the half marathons that I've done, is that like I went to uni now, never passed anything in my life, and did my MBA, and that's. So that was a bit of a journey, and that was more of a process. People go, "Oh, did you go to do the MBA to keep excelling in work?" And I said, "No, it was just really a journey for me to see if I can do the education space."
That part is fascinating to me. How in the world did you just decide, like, I'm just going to go and get my MBA?
Well, I think there was a sliding door window when I really became fascinated about education or about learning. So I started reading a lot of books. And so, and I could tell you that happened, that journey started 2015. And then, you know, like, I was just fascinated because everyone kept talking about MBA. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, no shit, bro. My mum got me involved. My mum pretty much signed me up, sent me to the director of Waikato business to meet her. It was a really interesting journey because my transcript, you had to write a transcript to apply. And like the sarcastic person I am, I wrote a transcript going, I don't know why the fuck I'm applying. I don't know, you know, I just, like, I went for a phase of kind of like, don't choose me. I don't know why. And then it was like, I got invited for an interview, I remember Friday, 4 p.m. And she asked me, why do you want to do your MBA? And I said, fuck, okay, I want a student ID. So I can get on the bus for cheaper and go to movies. Now, I've never caught a bus in my life these days. I'm that lazy, but it was just more kind of like, I've never owned a student ID. You know, I couldn't afford one. So it was, and like, when she heard of the evidence of stuff I did as a business person, it was kind of like, she just goes, fuck, you're in. But what I learned with the MBA is that usually people have to have some sort of bachelor's or some sort of degree to move into the MBA. And then we just went in a big, huge fucking rant with her, and she's like, fuck, do you just let anyone in? Yeah. But hey, I mean, apart from the shit story that I shared with you, I stuck it out 2 years, and then what is it? Graduated last year in October. So that was a different moment because I've never passed anything or graduated. So to walk on a stage and receive that document, yeah, that's probably been on the back of, you know, just putting myself through severe stress. So starting while working full-time, running a company.
Yeah, talk about energy points. That's insane to me. Because you got to take care of your wife, take care of your kid, take care of the business, take care of the degree, take care of your body so that you can go and run all these triathlons and marathons. That's insane to me.
Well, bro, it's kind of like, why, like I said about Bruce Lee, like Bruce Lee says it clearly, like if you know, just flow like water, like, I just don't let it get to me. Like, I'm not going to say it didn't get to me. I mean, like everyone goes, how did you do it? And I said, I don't know. I've never studied my life, so it's kind of like I just went through the motions. And I guess, you know, I don't know. I didn't look at it too hard. But man, if anything, that or my MBA, I enjoyed the journey, and I am looking to probably go back into study more.
Right on. Well, what do you think was your biggest lesson from getting your MBA?
Oh, well, MBA. What did I take from my MBA, or what?
Yeah, or maybe like, what was the hardest thing about getting your MBA?
Um, it was just trying to understand how university life was. So like, I didn't know there was something online that we had to go to. I didn't even know what the fuck referencing was until halfway through the fucking paper. Fucking true story. I was like, people were going, Tjay, how you doing this blah 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 referencing style? And I went, the fuck is that? And that and so yeah, man, like, bro, I wouldn't say it was hard. It was different. But man, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole process. And like, I think if people have done a bit of life, I always encourage people to do it. And that's like, I'm in the process of now what I want to do is, you know, even box it even more. I want to see if I can do my doctorate. I've just got if anything, the MBA is just, and I know there's a different level of academia, but it's more, I've got more of a fascination for research in there.
Well, what do you want to, do you have any idea specifically that you want to research?
Oh, yeah, there's two topics, and like, I'll probably get crucified in New Zealand. One of the topics is, I believe rugby is dying in New Zealand. I've got to work out the probably question around that, or the title of that. And then I guess, you know, a research paper on the behaviors of Pacific entrepreneurs from rags to riches.
Okay, I want to dive into both of those. For the first one, what do you mean by you think rugby is dying? Like demand for the sport or athletes playing the sport?
Oh, I just don't think like the model that it's in at the moment is sustainable, and I can't see it past 10 years. We're a nation of, in New Zealand, rugby's our number one sport. We're a nation of like 5 million people. We're really at the fucking bottom of the world. And we're an expensive place to get to, and an expensive place to live. And like, even like my thesis that I did at my MBA was that like, there's probably a lot more kids that are probably turning to more towards basketball and volleyball. And that. So yeah, that's probably just the if anything, bro, like before doing the MBA, I have a huge amount of respect for researchers now. And that stuff fascinates me. Case studies in there.
Wow. No, it makes a ton of sense. And then what's up with this interest in rags to riches for Pacific Islander?
So it's more about the behaviors. Where was that sliding doors moment for individuals? So everyone's got their own journey, everyone's got their own moment, but like, what was that that they saw that they went, wow, that was that turning point. But there's a kind of behavior in terms of like fighting the storm. So I guess with Pacifica, like, you know, there's that element of like culturally to conform and fit in. Tall poppy syndrome is huge. And it's kind of like, you know, how do they like, we're able to track and keep growing, you know, in terms of the whatever, you know, product they were trying to deliver as a business.
Well, what was that turning point for you?
Bro, 2015 in Fremantle, Western Australia, I was sitting down having a coffee in Fremantle. And I don't know, bro, but I can remember it clearly. It was the turning point. I saw this young Balangi kid come out of this white brand new Range Rover. And I was just like, how the hell did he get that? Now, also, I can tell you, I'm not a Range Rover person because I don't look after my vehicles. So no point giving me something shiny. But it was just kind of like, and then I just started reading books. And it was just kind of like, I think if anything, a lot of the books that I read, it was just about choices. Like I guess the stuff people see we have now, like, man, we're far from it 20 years ago. And I just truly believe life is all about choices, what people choose to do.
Well, what books did you read that were like life-changing for you?
I would say the books that I like going back to, like, it's funny, like, my first book that I read was Good to Great from Jim Collins. Now, there's some good stories in there, but when you reflect back on a lot of those people, fuck, a lot of them did the wrong thing. Isn't that? But like, I like, there's The Monk That Sold His Ferrari from Roman Sharma. American Icon, the story about, I think, is it Andrew Mullaby, the guy that worked with Ford Motors.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Iger's book, the CEO of Disney.
Man, I've not read any of these. That's crazy. So you started reading all these books, and then you found out how important choices were in your journey.
Well, like, they showed me that a lot of these guys fucking started from, like, brooming the floor. And it was just choices. It was just like, you know, opportunities. A lot of them, you know, from choosing to do the right thing and just holding the line. And that's, I guess, that Roman Sharma book, in terms of The Monk That Sold Ferrari, is that, I guess I'm in the time of my life is that, like, I try not to sweat the small stuff. I remember what's probably the most important things in my life. But I guess the times, like, when I am in the office behind my desk, bro, I'm just fucking relentless and fucking in it.
Well, what are the most important things?
Oh, bro, the key most important things are my wife and my kids, my parents. You know, the love of my life, my wife, who I've been together for 20 plus years and has put up my shit.
Right.
You know, and bro, like, you know, I guess people that knew me 20 years ago, bro, like, I'm like a fine red wine. I just got better with age. So yeah, she's put up my shit, and you know, truly grateful for her, and I like anything, my parents, you know, like, you know, I'm one of 8. I'm number 3, and I'm probably the black sheep of the family. The boy that got expelled, the boy that probably didn't pass anything at school. And yeah, I just my journey was just a little bit different.
Awesome. Through your journey, has there anyone been super impactful to you? Like, has helped you so much get to where you are?
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, like, I would say my siblings, my aunties and uncles. They taught me about love. They taught me about compassion. You know, as much as I swear.
What do you mean? How did they teach you that?
Oh, just like undivided. Like, I had these aunties and uncles. They're like, you know, they're like parents to me. You know, I'm a 6 foot, 130 kg guy. I'm not really scared of a lot of things, but I'm scared of my aunties and uncles. And man, like, fuck, if I hear them give me, if they call my name and they say it in a certain way, I flinch. I fucking flinch. It's like, but like, you know, I guess without probably going too much into my younger days, it was just like they were always there and gave me that hug when I needed it. And like that probably just taught me just being present. And sometimes it is just a hug that, you know, they're gonna go, "You're all good."
Yeah. And then the hit on the that's buddy. No, that means a lot. Because a similar thing happened with me. Because I think everyone was in my auntie's house for some reason. Because at this time she kind of took us in, and there must have been like 7 kids over there with like 3 bedrooms, and we're all just like sleeping on the floors. And then I remember I did something with the fridge, and I took something that I wasn't supposed to, and then my aunt was like, "Hey, Dean, get over here!" And she had a hanger in her hand, and it was like, it was those moments where I think I feel you. It's like her compassion to take us in, my entire family, take us in, even though she only had 3 rooms, and she already had 4 kids that she was trying to look after, and she was like willing to open up her home. That I think means a lot. And it reminds me of something that my uncle Tommy said. You'll never meet a homeless Polynesian, a homeless Pacific Islander, because there's always family to take them in.
Oh, bro, 100%. 100%. Like, man, like, everyone will feed you. You know, you can go to any Pacific Island, they'll feed you. They'll give you, you know, their last piece of bread, you know, and like, they'll feed you. Like, I share a story, like, got into a bit of trouble. My uncle was listening to this, like, he'll remember it. So it was in Auckland, and like, I got caught. And then he got annoyed at me. And then when he got caught, you know, as you could tell with my hair, I loved my hair back in the days. I had this huge undercut, and instead of smacking me, he gave me the shittiest haircut. With patches and all. Okay? Gave me the shittiest haircut. And I was to go to school the next day of that. But what he did next is something I do with my kids, is that, like, he took me to Burger King, gave me a hug, explained to me, you know, why we're doing it, what he did. And I learned a lot faster that way. Like, you know, instead of giving me a clip around the ears, he took away something that I loved, my hair, gave me the shittiest haircut. But like, yeah, he took me to Burger King afterwards, brought me a Whopper, and like, you know, I don't know, having an unfortunate background, it was just more kind of like, it just taught me that, you know, he still loved me. And that's probably something I do with my boys today. And yeah, no shit, bro. I didn't care. Went to school with patches in my head, bro.
Yeah. Well, Lord, friends, what did your teacher say?
They just looked at me going, and I just said, what can you say? It's like, yeah, it was bad patches. And my uncle at the time, he could cut hair. So he was purposely there to fuck my hair up.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny. There's this question that I always ask at the end of all of these interviews. If you could put up a sign, and this sign would go up on every Pacific Islander home, and so every Pacific Islander in the world, millions and millions of them, they would be reminded of this phrase every single day. What would you put on that sign and why?
Easy. If there was a sign that I would want to read, or people to read when they walk out the house, is monster the fucking moment. So you'll see on all my LinkedIn posts, there's a hashtag MTFN, monster the fucking moment. Like, mate, everything you choose to do, fucking making a jam sandwich, fucking building a fence, say, monster the fucking moment. There's too many times that a lot of us go and things half-ass, and life's too short for that shit. I truly believe, and it's like, fuck, if you're gonna do shit, fucking monster it. And that probably comes to a phrase in that Roman Shaman book, is that like deathbed mentality, eh? You only live once. So you might as well have a good fucking crack at it. And so yeah, that's probably the phrase I'll have on as a sign on the fence.
Appreciate it. No, that makes a ton of sense. Man, thanks for coming on the show. Love all the stories that you shared. If someone wants to connect with you and support what you're doing, how can they do that?
Reach out to you. Or hey, I guess like, you know, I'm on different platforms and on LinkedIn and that, so I'm there. I love the work that you do, and I guess for me is like anything to support more Pacifica people doing cool shit and advocating for that. Like, bro, I appreciate the work you do, and like, man, just keep walking.
Hey, you made it. Thanks for listening to this Islander success story. If you want more of these, head over to Nesian.news. Sign up for our newsletter. We'll send you an email every single time we put an Islander success story out there. And remember, our mission is to connect and inspire Islanders around the world.